Hello, people. Like to say hi to everybody. We're going to have a pretty interesting show today, and I'm going to release some information for the first time here that have not has not been released yet. And I'm hoping that you guys like it. But first, let's talk about this hat I have on my head right here. My two sisters were down in Florida on vacation, and they walked into Hulk Hogan has a place down there. I believe it's in Clearwater, and they had a big show there that night, and they, as a gift, they got me this hat with Ric Flair's autograph and Jimmy Hart on the other side, and it says "To Lee Cole" right up there. They also got me a Hulk Hogan hat autographed by Hulk Hogan, and I was shocked. I mean, they called me up, and there's only a couple wrestlers I would be interested in having their autographs, and it would be Ric Flair because he's a legend. He's been around forever, and Hulk Hogan. After that, I couldn't really think of anybody that would, but Hulk Hogan owns this bar. It's a club. And what he does is he invites all the wrestlers and they put on shows there. They sell their items and stuff. And Ric Flair just happened to be there that night. And my sister Maggie called me and said, "Hey, Lee, uh, who's Ric Flair?" And I go, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, I'm sitting next to him right now." And, my sister Maggie's kind of an attractive woman. And she said, "Oh, Rick was hitting on her." But everybody knows Rick's reputation, Ric Flair's reputation. But they got me the hat, and I love my sisters. It was just a very, very nice gesture. So I'll just leave this on throughout this show. And then I got to put it away because with the autographs, you got to be careful. A Ric Flair autograph is actually worth something. A Hulk Hogan autograph's worth something, especially if you have it on a brand new cap. Besides that, can you guys believe the insanity going on? And I'm not even involved. I feel left out. And I'm kind of glad I'm not involved. I mean, can you believe what's going on? I mean, did you guys see Mob Rat show last night? I mean, that's one guy you don't want coming at you because when he's pissed, he does not hold back. And last night, Mob Rats did not hold back at all. And I actually kind of felt bad for the people he was attacking. He was so vicious. No, not really, but And I'm just trying to stay out of the fray and actually do content. But we got so much of this crap going on right now, so you got to wonder how many shows actually do some type of content. We know that Mob Rats usually does content. And when he gets pissed, he really attacks hard. But if you look at these other shows, you got to wonder what's up with the content. I mean, I can understand going after people every once in a while. I do it all the time. But you got to do some content if you want to be in this genre. Otherwise, what exactly is your show about? I'm going to wait until someone says something to me and I'm going to go after them. Is that what the show's about? Uh, it's getting kind of really ridiculous. So I'm going to try to stay away from that. I will defend myself when I have to. I prefer not to fight with FBS. Let him go do his little thing, and I hope that he keeps it on the path that he said. But at the same time, I cannot promise with what MB says because I don't control her. She's her own person, and she's not related to me like people say. But okay, I'm going to get off that. Let me say hi to who's here. We got quite a few people here already. Let's see. Uh, the Buffalo Billy Show, the Albanian Syndicate, wrong number. Maximilian 2215, Lady Pals, Joker Knows Best, Maximilian, Joey Electric, The Turd Bird, The Westies, Staten Island Pal, Dan Moore. Uh, let's see, BK Shallon, how you doing? Okay, Joey Elect, the Captain. Bill Jordan. How you doing, Bill? Aussie Nate's here. Gialvi Liuni. I'm sure I fucked that name up. Butchie Bifocals. Anthony says salute. Nikki. Matt Collier, how's it going from across the pond? Kirk Davis. Gimmick Nonstop. The Turd Bird. Jane Perry, how you doing, Jane? Let's see. We got a bunch of names again. Styling and profiling. Lee, thank you for the kind words. I enjoy the hats. Thank you. Oh, let's see who that is. Style and profile. I like to know who that is. With Ric Flair. Okay. Let's see. James Doherty. Welcome. Simpin' Ain't Easy. Beantown 916. How you doing, Beantown? Beantown, I seen you in that show last night when MRE ravaged people. I mean, that was pretty incredible, wasn't it, Beantown? Scotch Wrangler. Jenny Patterson. Tommy Siggs. How you doing, Tommy? Marky Mark. No Evil 69. Gordon Gecko. The Buffalo Billy Show, Elena Therese. And you know what? We're going to stop there. That's quite a few people. We have about 72 people in the house right now. I'll wait a little bit for that to grow, but we are going to talk about Roy Demeo today. And Roy was a fascinating character. He was as evil as can be. He was a gangster. He was a made man. But he was insane. The rarity with him was that he killed a lot of civilians. You know, usually you have guys that don't kill civilians. They could be in the mob, they can have 10 bodies. They don't ever kill a civilian. Sammy Gravano, what did he kill? One civilian, a kid? But in general, if you're not connected with the mob, they don't usually kill you. But Roy Demeo didn't care who he killed. It got to the point with Roy Demeo where he was just incredibly psychotic. I'm going to talk to you about his son, which is a sad story. The son is a very sad story because he killed himself a couple years ago. And the son always said that people look at him and they judge him by his father's deeds. And he was a very sad man, and he killed himself. So Roy Demeo not only took a bunch of people with him, eventually Roy Demeo's son killed himself because of Roy Demeo. And can you imagine being his father, knowing that your father butchered and cut people up and had no compassion whatsoever for anything? I mean, this is a guy that someone knocked on his door and he thought it was a Cuban hitman. He chased the guy down the street, got into a car chase, caught up to him and murdered him. And it was just an innocent kid that was selling vacuums. That was Roy Demeo. I mean, when Paul Castellano decided that he wanted Roy Demeo dead, John Gotti wanted no part of it. And it was a smart move by Gotti because Gotti basically, he said that it was a team of killers around him. And Gotti knew that if he went after Demeo and missed the hit, that all hell was going to break loose. Toward the end of his life, Demeo kind of knew it was coming and would walk around with a long jacket and a shotgun inside his jacket, always expecting the worst. And, eventually they did get him, and we'll talk about that. Right now, I'm just going over the basics with him until some more people get in here. We're at 90 right now. And fascinating character, evil character without a doubt. I read the book about him, Murder Machine, in 1992, I believe it was, when I read the book. At that time, I was living in Binghamton, New York, upstate New York. And I remember sitting down and I started reading Murder Machine. It was such a good book I could not put it down. That's how good the book was. I think I read it in like a day. I don't know if you guys ever get a hold of these mob books and start reading them, and they're so good that you just want to read the whole book in one day. And that's what it was. The book was it's probably one of the best mob books I ever read. And being it was written way back then, it was only a few years after they found his body and DeMeo was killed. Let's see, Saturn. Lee won't shout me out. I don't know why. Saturn. How's that? I just shouted you out, Saturn. Is that really you, Saturn? Is that your face, or are you some dude pretending that's your face? I always wondered that with people. But anyway, Saturn, I'm calling you out, and welcome. I haven't seen you here before, so I'm not sure who you are. Maybe you go under another name. BK, Shallon, you've really been getting hit hard. I mean, you had a show 1:30 in the morning just for you. What do you think about that? I mean, just for you and Joe. I mean, it was like you guys must have really bothered somebody if they're doing a show at 1:30 in the morning going after you. So you guys are really getting to people. There's no doubt. Okay, let's see if we can read. The Buffalo Billy shows what's up. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few more people to get in here, before I get Jesse. How you doing? Jesse's a regular now, good guy. Believe it or not, Jesse and I used to not get along at one time, but now we do, and it's been quite a while, and I'd rather have him on my side than against me. I can never understand respecting the so-called hierarchy in any organization. If the boss wants me dead, I'm pulling a John Gotti. If you aim at the king, you best not miss. Gotti was very smart not to take the aim at DeMeo. Exactly. You know why? Because just, if he went after DeMeo, let's say, DeMeo had all his killers. Eventually, the people around him were going to take DeMeo down. But if they went after DeMeo, they would have definitely went back at Gotti. And you've seen what happened to Gotti after he killed Castellano, how many people wind up dead. John Gotti was loved by his men, but not by others outside of his men. People, a lot of jealousy in the mob too, when you have people that want to be in control. Gotti was smart to decline that hit. DP, thank you. Roy probably would have knew something was up if he got a call to go to meet with John or someone from the crew. Now, you got to remember, at the end, when DeMeo got shot, just like in the movie Donnie Brasco, he left his ring, his watch, and he also left, which was very unusual, a Catholic card. So I'm sure that the good Lord forgave him for all his sins at the very end. He said his prayer and went to his execution. Now, a lot of people say Nino Gadji. Let me get into this a little bit. Okay. So he was shot multiple times in the chest and the head. And he was found in a parking lot at a place called the Verona Boat Club. And they say that the participants in the shooting was Anthony Gadji, Frank DeChico, Anthony Senner, Joseph Tester, and Carlo Perfetta. And it was ordered by Castellano. And the body was discovered on February 20th. Now, there is talk. Now, when Casso did a book, he claimed that Anthony Gadji wasn't at the shooting. But as we know, Casso's another lying, evil motherfucker. He's not as evil as DeMeo, but he's right there. He's like right underneath him a little bit. I don't think that you can put anybody in mob history as evil as DeMeo. Now, DeMeo also, he was a butcher's apprentice, something like Castellano. Castellano used to own butcher shops too. So he knew how to take apart bodies, cut them up. So it was nothing to DeMeo. And but and what happened with that? Castellano was worried because he felt that DeMeo would crack and cooperate with the authorities, and that's why he ordered the hit on DeMeo. And who knows whether he would have? Nobody knows that. I think that they wanted to take him out because they knew he was out of control and he was murdering innocent people. And I'm going to talk to you about one thing that he did was horrible. He did many things horrible, but this one thing was really horrible. And but when at the end, what they did is they said he went to the bar. He was sitting down when they got him at the Gemini, and the guys just pulled out their guns and started firing and killed him. Now, when they found him in his vehicle, there was a chandelier in there, and it was always a myth that the chandelier. DeMeo would always brag about this chandelier, and the guys purposely went and cut it down and put it on top of his body. That's not true. What happened is DeMeo already took the chandelier down because he wanted to fix some stuff on it, and he put it in the trunk. So the whole thing about them being upset about the chandelier and putting it on his body is not a true story, and that's in the police report. Just so you do know, and. So he was placed in the trunk under the chandelier. He was driven out to Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn, and after he was killed, and they found him 10 days later. And it's kind of fitting that his men killed him because no one else in the Gambinos or New York, nobody would accept the contract. Can you imagine that? Nobody wanted that contract. So they went to the Gemini twins. And they were all self-promoters. The Gemini twins were all about themselves. And after he got killed, after they killed him, the Gemini twins took control of his books and stuff, his bookmaking. They took control. They were happy. Eventually, they went to another family, but at that time, they took over. And let's see right here. Okay, I'm going to talk to you about a guy named Joseph Vigiano was his name. And on December 4th, 1981, he owed money to DeMeo. And DeMeo, he wasn't able to give DeMeo the money. So DeMeo basically had him shot. He dismembered the body and got rid of the body. And then 2 weeks later, his father, Al, and his brother, Paul, came by looking for him. And so what they did is they coaxed him into meeting DeMeo, and they killed the father and the son, who were innocent. They were civilians just looking for their son. And usually that would be unheard of. What they would do is they would ignore that crap. But they didn't. DeMeo didn't. He was willing to wipe out a bloodline, someone's family. And I got a hold of someone in that family, and we talked. And they told me that when they died, the family was devastated and went to hell because nobody knew what happened. They didn't know until years later, when people started turning and stuff. So you had this Italian family that was totally destroyed because of Roy Demeo. They had no idea what happened to their loved ones because of Roy Demeo. Roy Demeo already killed the son. He didn't have to kill the father and the brother. The body was already gone. It was cut up. It disappeared. So why would he kill the father and brother? Why? Because he's psychotic. He's a nut. He's a murderer. Them being alive would have had no bearing, because how many people DeMeo kill or his crew killed that had family already wondering what happened to people and looking for them? They didn't go wipe that family out. And this wasn't the only time. There was a couple other murders that DeMeo committed, and people came looking. That were civilians looking for the people. and he murdered them too. So this was a common practice of Demeo's. He had no compassion whatsoever. I mean, he could kill like it was nothing. He basically was a butcher, and he knew how to butcher animals and kill animals. And he looked at it as a human being as just that. As that's it. He didn't look at him in any other way except a piece of meat that you cut up. Who the hell does stuff like that when you really think about it? Okay, I'm going to read some of the quotes. Oh boy, we have 85 messages already. Are you guys kidding me? You guys are off and running. Roy Demeo was a big time moneymaker. That's why he got away. Exactly, Bill Jordan. He got away with it because he was a big time moneymaker. But it got to the point. Now you got to understand. Here's what happened. They on Rogerio and John Gotti were caught on video, on tape. I'm sorry, not video, on tape. And they were talking about the murder of DeMeo. And they were talking on the tape about how nobody wanted the contract, including John Gotti. So they were having a hard time finding someone to kill this guy. So the Gemini twins were made a bunch of promises. You kill him, you can have what he has. So the Gemini twins were like, okay. Now, nobody's going to ever know whether Gadji was there. There's two stories. Casso says, no, he wasn't. But Casso was another nut, psychotic person that lied a lot. I mean, he said that in his report to the FBI that he wasn't there. But who knows? We'll never know. As we know, Gadji wound up going to prison and dying. I believe he died in prison of cancer, if I'm correct. I'm not positive about that, but that's what I think happened to him. Okay, let me read some of these guys. Emre Osler, Lee, I love your show, and I was wondering, is it possible for you to interview Phil and Eddie? Yeah, sure, I would love to interview them, but those guys are hard to get. The smaller shows like myself, we try to get them, but my show is not going to remain small too much longer. Okay, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I got coming up, and no one's heard this until now. They've kind of heard rumors, but I'm going to be sitting down and I'm going to be debating Anthony Raimondi at a table across from one another. So that's going to be happening on the 25th of this month. It's going to be in a studio, and you're going to see me dressed up in a suit, believe it or not, instead of being dressed up as a slob. So Anthony Raimondi has been going around bragging that he has all this information about who he is. But I did a lot of research into Anthony Raimondi, and I got a lot of surprises for Anthony Raimondi. And I can't talk about that now. We'll wait until the debate happens, people. So this studio, I'm going to be doing other work for too. I have several interviews lined up, and the agreement made is made that I will be taking, when I do interviews there, I'll be able to put them on my channel also. But in general, when I do the debate with Raimondi, that's just going to be put on this huge network. And I'm looking forward to it. I cannot wait to get a hold of Raimondi with his military record. I have absolute evidence that he's not going to like. He's made lots of statements about his military record. And a lot of these things can be proven wrong. I met with a bunch of Vietnam vets at VA. And we talked about Anthony Raimondi. And these Vietnam vets were very helpful. They came up with stuff that nobody else can come up with. They checked around, they made some calls. And the information I have on this guy, and here's the key. Did he use stolen valor to make money? The answer to this is yes, because he sold a book with stolen valor in the book. That's illegal. So Anthony Ramundi's running around with this bullet to the bone thing. But the fact of the matter is that he has issues going on. He doesn't realize this. He's even writing another book. And you know what? You're going to hear things like, "Oh, someone else debated him." And so, listen, I had the Green Berets on my show about maybe 3 months ago, and they're the ones that confirmed that the guy was never in the military. And he's made a lot of statements. The statements, and what I did with Ramundi is I went back to his Facebook page. He had a bunch of videos on. And then since then, he's done a lot more videos. And what I did is I compared the two videos. He said stuff on the Facebook videos that he changed. When he did his Vlad interview, he changed a bunch of stuff that he did on his Facebook. And last night, Ramundi, not last night, a few nights ago, Ramundi was talking again. He loves to talk. That guy loves to talk. And now I'm working on his affiliation with the Columbos, which he says that he was involved with. He's saying that he was a Columbo. He even has a list of made soldiers and stuff, and he's on that list. He's on a list that came out of a computer. Any Columbo person I spoke to don't even know who this guy is. So it's going to be my pleasure to really explain to you who this guy is. Now, Ramundi, here's what he did after I did that Green Beret show. He went back on Stax's show and he called me a child molester and said that he was speaking to people in California that know people in Texas that I'm a child molester. That's how you know this guy's a liar. He said a lot of really bad shit about me. And it's time for him to pay the piper. So this is why I am so glad it's already done. It cannot be stopped. The show signed, sealed. It's going to happen. And that's that. It doesn't matter if someone picks up the phone and tries to say, "Hey, Lee Cole's a cocksucker. Don't do this show." It ain't going to work. So they're going to, and not only that, they're going to question me. You guys heard some rumors on here, about me ripping off my girlfriend and me doing stuff, even the low life child molestation shit, the kidnapping shit. So what's going to happen in this debate? Everything that was said is going to be proved wrong with evidence. This is what I've been waiting for, people. People could say whatever they want about people, but you better have some good evidence. And people don't hear. People just say shit. It's not like we even fight with each other. I mean, there's certain people here that will bring up people's past and start talking shit about their past. So during this debate, you're going to see everything that's ever been said about me. And I'm not talking about shit with my son. My son was pissed at me. He said some shit. I'm not talking about that shit. But the horrible shit that's been said about me, including that I'm a drug, I take pills. Just so you know, people, I will be taking a drug test that day. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anthony Ramundi said everything possible about me, everything possible that was horrible. And I'm going to prove him for exactly what he is. And he's threatened to beat me up, say it to his face. Well, Anthony Ramundi, I will be saying it to your fucking face. I will be about 3 feet from you. And you know what you're going to do to me? Not a damn thing. And I'm going to bury you. You are going to be proven a liar. And not with arguments, with evidence. You just couldn't shut up. You just kept talking and talking and talking and burying yourself further. So I hope you have some good proof of who you are. I hope you have some good military records, because I got some good military records on you too. We can compare our military records. And you were bragging the other day on Stax's show that you got something lined up and I'm not going to show up. Oh, I'm coming. It's going to happen. This is what we wanted, and this is what you got. There's going to be a lot of advertising coming out over the next couple of weeks for the show, people. We got posters we're making up. We're going to have Ramundi and I in a UFC poster. What do you think about that? And I'm looking so forward to this. So you guys have something to look forward to. Ramundi thinks he's going to sit down with me and beat me here. You got people talking about what great debaters they are and stuff. I'm not talking about, I'm sitting across from someone and debating them. I'm not going to do this YouTube shit where you scream at where you're screaming over people or just calling people names back and forth. It's going to be an actual real debate. Okay. So if you guys want to ask any questions on it, feel free. Okay, let's get back to the Mooney Dash Cam. What a great show. I love that show, Mooney Dash Cam. He does shows about everything. I mean, that guy is just really good at what he does. He came up with a great idea to drive around in his truck and do these shows. That guy's going to have, I'll bet you within the next year or two, he's going to have 1 million viewers. I'll bet you, I think his show is going to be the biggest out of all the shows because he's a smart kid. He's a good looking kid. He knows what he's doing. He just has that look. He has it. He has the it factor. Okay, now all you people that now know about the Ramundi, these other shows and stuff, you can all start talking to your shit and stuff. But it's my gig. That's all it comes down to it. While everybody was fighting with each other around here and stuff, I've been doing a lot of shit in the background. This is nothing, people. I got a lot of stuff lined up that I'm going to be doing. We literally had people come on here and they checked people's interview styles and stuff. And they decided that I had the best interview style. People don't want to hear that, but that was a decision made by professional men. So all this mocking and making fun of people and stuff, I told you, put the fucking fighting to the side, guys, and do your shows. Good things can come from it. It really can. Do you know that I had a Russo Gianni, whatever the fuck his name is? I had an interview lined up with him. And a couple hours before I got him to come on, he pulled out. You know why he pulled out? Because some certain person on here called up and got him to pull out of the interview. I'm not going to say who. They know who they are. But they ended the interview. So I lost that interview. That's the way they do things around here. And I will tell anybody, if you guys hear that say FBS is getting an interview, don't be a scumbag and try to hurt his interview. Let him do the fucking interview. I mean, we can't get to the point where we're trying to fuck people over at interviews and stuff just because you don't like them or people don't like me. That's low life shit. We got to be able to announce our interviews a week ahead of time and talk about them without scumbags coming out and trying to end interviews. That's what it comes down to. And I always talk to you guys about a lot of things that happen behind the scenes here that you don't see. I wanted to talk about the Gianni Russo, what happened. I was furious. And I was shocked who did it. Who fucked me out of the interview. I'm not going to mention their name. But you guys don't have to be geniuses to figure it out. It was somebody that has a little pull. So, what I say is, fuck Gianni Russo. Who the fuck is he anyway? He's just an old guy that makes up a bunch of fucking stories. It would have been nice to have him on because a lot of people watch the clown. And you know what it's like when you bust your ass and you're trying to get an interview and stuff, and then some scumbags come in and hurt your interview after it's set up? We cannot, us guys that are content makers, we cannot even tell people what the fuck we're doing because of the scumbags around here. And I condone anybody that fucks with somebody's channel and tries to hurt their interviews. I do not like FBS. He does not like me, and it's going to be that way forever. But you don't have the right to do that to him. Even Jimmy Calandra. It's bullshit. Michael Francis has all these great interviews and stuff. Why can't we have that opportunity to have these interviews? Because certain people don't like us? When we get these interviews, people check our libraries. If somebody wants to pull out of the interviews because of our libraries, okay, I can understand that. But when we lose interviews because some dirtbag, low-life motherfucker starts making phone calls to get interviews lost, there's issues. And that's what happens. So the person that hurt me on that interview, you did me a favor because I went in another direction and I got even better interviews. The people that I got lined up for interviews have nothing to do with this genre. And you couldn't even touch these people. That's all I'm going to say. If people want to make a show about what I'm fucking saying right now, go ahead and make it. Because you know what? I got the damn interviews. And I got some really good shit. Then you have like this Busha Boris. I'm not going to say her name because Busha Boris is just a hateful human being. It's people like that try to injure people, go after people. Do you know that someone pulled up a bill that I had 12 years ago from a vet where I owed the vet $2,000. And they don't know nothing about the story. It was my son's dog, and the dog was going to die. And we went into emergency surgery. We wound up paying $6,000 of it. We wound up paying $4,000, and there was a $2,000 left on the bill that did not get paid 15 years ago. And you had some cocksucker the other day talking about it, talking about my life. So this is what you got here, people. Okay, let's do some of this. Okay, stolen car ring. I'm sorry, we'll get back to Demeo. I kind of got off track there, but we got a lot out about Demeo. And Anthony Raimondi. I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks, Anthony Raimondi. Okay. Is it with Patrick Bet David Lee? You're just not going to know yet. That's going to be a surprise, people. People will figure it out in about a week when all the advertising comes out. Okay, Johnny Boy. Raimondi is old news. Everybody knows he's full of shit. Nothing new here. Johnny Boy, You're wrong. You're just a hater, Johnny. But we're still going to let you stay in here and hate. Is stolen valor a crime? I think it should be, but I thought it wasn't. Stolen valor is a crime only if you make money off of it. If you pretend that you're a soldier and you make money off pretending you're a soldier, like selling a book, it's a crime. If you are stolen valor and people can walk around and say whatever the fuck they want, but when you start making money off of it, it's illegal. And that's why some people have gotten in big trouble for it. So you have to basically say, how many books did Anthony Ramundi sell? Who bought that piece of shit of a book? Who really thinks that he was a made member and that he killed a man? He shot him 13 times with a 7-shooter. Sounds kind of impossible. As an Army combat veteran, I could tell you Ramundi is a liar. Route Irish. I spoke to Vietnam vets. They were furious. They didn't even know this was going on with Ramundi. And then what I did is I played videos for them and stuff at the Legion. Wow. You want to see some pissed off guys? They said, who the fuck is this guy? Okay, what I found out, he was in the military, but he was dishonorably discharged. Jesse, don't give away the good stuff, Jesse. Give me, a matter of fact, Jesse, give me a call. We'll talk about it. Here's John Wolf. Don't rat him out. Fuck him. Are you fucking kidding me, John Wolf? This motherfucker called me a child molester on a show when he was on with Stax several times. So shut the fuck up. John, sometimes there's a time to shut up. This is one of those times. My nephew was right. He is legit as they come. Yeah. He's related to Lucky Luciano. He's related to everybody. This guy's related to every gangster that ever lived. But I got evidence on that too, people. It's not hard to find out evidence in family trees. All you got to do nowadays is go online and pull family trees. It's very easy. And for some reason, people don't want to do that stuff. Lee, don't tip your hand. He may not show up. It doesn't matter. If he doesn't show up, I'll be debating against an empty chair. If I don't show up, he'll be debating against an empty chair. It doesn't matter. It's already figured out, people. Canarsie, did I see a comment you saying FBS would roast MRE in a debate? Are you serious? Some people are legends in their own mind, people. Lee Cole, have you ever heard of the expression from Sun Tzu, let your plans be as dark as night and strike light? No, I can't. I had to let it out, people, because it's coming out. It's all going to be advertised within the next couple days. I have to talk about it. It's my job to put out. I got to put out there. I'm basically putting information out there. Part of my job is to be advertising and talking about the debate. So we'll, and this ain't going to be a debate about hollering. This is going to be a debate with facts. And today was the first time anybody's heard of it for sure. But Ramundi's been putting this shit out there, and he wasn't supposed to. So he went on Stax's show, and he's been talking about it. So he broke the agreement that he made. So now we have to put it out because Ramundi has a big mouth. And Ramundi, when you see me, are you going to beat me up? Okay. Okay. Well, peace out, everyone. BK Shalom. Good night, Johnny boy. Oh, take care, Johnny boy. Hit the road. We'll miss you. Anthony Ramundi Alfredo. But it comes to a bag. I just boil water. Okay, whatever. I don't know what you're saying here. Okay. Listen, I'm not going to pull up anything with the fighting going on with FBS and stuff and put it up here. I'm not going to do what he does. Okay. I'm going to keep my part of the agreement. If he's going to break the agreement, he's going to break it. He was in both Colombo Wars. I was there. Salute. Oh, favorite Ramundi lie is when he popped the Vietnamese guy in the head off with a. I didn't hear that one. Did he actually say that, buyer's remorse? Okay. BK in New York Connect, they tried to set me MRE and blast them. Which, okay. Maximilian, they gave me a good laugh. MRE would hit him with finishes. MRE is not the type of guy you want coming after you. You guys remember when me and MRE went at it for about a month? You don't want him coming at you. He's a very smart man. As for the video that blocks out his face, I think it's legit. But I don't think that they have the right to put it out there. And it's like MRE said last night, go ahead, I dare you. So he's daring them. You know, if it's not legit, it's one of the best jobs I've ever seen. You know, it looks like somebody's sitting down at a table talking. That just happens to sound like MRE. Unless somebody dubbed it, unless it's somebody, and nowadays anybody could fuck with those things. You know, who knows? Only person that knows is MRE and Bobby Luisi, who originally put it out. So that should tell you a lot right there. Yes, get the popcorn ready, people. I'm going to take him out in one round. I'm going to Khabib his ass. The hype and test plate, looking forward to it. Please do. People, I'm going to be releasing information that's never been put out there about this man. And I want him to hear me right now. I want him to go out there. I want him to think about what's coming his way. Because he's a horrible man. You know, it's bad enough when you are out there and you're pretending that you're some kind of warrior and you killed all these men during the Vietnam War. Okay. That's bad enough. But then when you start saying that you have evidence of someone being a child molester who's not, then it becomes personal. That's when he made this personal with me. So I'm going to treat him with no pity, no compassion. Tommy Stiggs, you complain a lot. You know that? What is it about you? You have a lot of complaints, Tommy. I've been talking about Anthony Ramundi. That's still mob talk. Is it not good enough for you? I watch what you say in my chat rooms. You're a very negative guy, Tommy. And I always shout it out your shows. Always say, go watch Tommy Stiggs. But when Tommy Stiggs comes in my room, he's very negative. What is that about? Yeah, I'm starting to think that. 190 in the house. We were just up over 200. Thank you, people. I hear that you got to finish what the Yorkshire pig started. Okay. Tommy Stiggs, I'm hoping that he goes back to Demeo. See, Tommy, you come in here, you get my chat room going with negative remarks. Ramundi, that's why if you see something before reacting first, we got to make sure that it's factual. Exactly. People, the information that I'm going to show is all factual. And when you have, and the most amazing things, people, when I spoke to the Vietnam vets, they gave me more information than the United States government would give the people. They made phone calls and found out things that nobody else would find out. And these were the vets. These were guys 70 years old, the same age as Ramundi. And they gave me stuff that proved that Ramundi was lying. They found out stuff that nobody else could find out. That is what our vets are about. And boy, were they pissed. These vets did not know that Ramundi, they don't know this Mafia genre stuff. They had no idea Ramundi was out here doing this stuff. But when I played the videos, they were like, holy shit. They wanted to fucking run down the street and go get him. That's how pissed they were. No, there's one Ramundi with a wrench in here. And no, it's not the real Ramundi. But a lot of people think he's the real Ramundi. I think that he thinks he's the real Ramundi. If you defeat Ramundi in a debate, will your award be, I want one of those cigars? Yes. You know what? Maybe after the debate, we'll go out and have a beer. Can you imagine sitting down having a beer with that guy? But I can't have a beer with somebody that calls me a child molester and blatantly knows he's lying. And then another guy allows him on the show to do that. I would never bring anybody on this show where they can call another man a child molester without evidence. It's very easy to find out whether somebody has sex crimes like that. Very, very easy. But a lot of people just like to jump on the bandwagon. Yes, it's going to be, Nick, it's going to be in person. It's going to be 3 feet apart. We decided it was, my only request is it's at a table and it's across from one another directly where we see each other, because the tough guy has made a lot of threats about beating people up and all that stuff. He's a 70-year-old man that can barely move. I move better than him. So it's all talk. And I'll make you a deal, Ramundi. You don't go on no shows between now and the debate. I'll leave you the fuck alone. But if you're going to go on shows and you're going to say a lot of stupid things like you were saying a couple nights ago, I'll have you all flustered before you even get to where you're going. Yes, and nobody has interviewed him. The guy's smart. He stays out of the fray. He just goes and does his stuff, Kelly. I look forward to his show. That's the one show that I really like watching. I'll take his show over any other show. I just love when he drives around Brooklyn or Queens. I've even seen him drive into Manhattan. I mean, he's done like he did the Joe Gallo shooting when he was down on Prince Street, and he drove through Little Italy, Chinatown. It's just a really good show. BK, bro, I told Ethan. Okay, well, you guys are still talking about that shit from last night, man. Save it for your shows, guys. Super sticker, Frank Devon, $5. Thank you very much. I don't know whether that's $5. Who the fuck knows what the English dollar's worth now? I don't even know if it's English. But anyway, thank you, Frank. It's very appreciated. See, we got these people, Fred and these other people. They come in here to hijack the room. And you know what the thing is? We let them in. Last night, I heard a guy tell his chat room, if anybody comes in here in my chat room and they say anything negative, get rid of them. He literally said that, get rid of them. But you know what? We'll let you miserable motherfuckers in here. You haters. You're welcome in here. And I'll even put up what you have to say. Ramundi, well, I don't know about that, to be honest with you. Fitness protection program created by Egg, like whatever the fuck that means. But you guys are still talking about that shit from last night. Okay. I'm really happy for you, Lee, especially after everything you went through last year. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jenny. But, you know, there's a lot of other things coming too, besides that. Okay. So listen, they said that Roy Demeo, they have Roy Demeo listed as killing like 40 men. But the reality is they say that he may have killed as many as 200. Think about that number. You know, someone was saying anywhere between 100 and 200 people. Because you got to remember, if you're a gangster and you kill somebody and it gets listed, how many things do gangsters get away with that nobody ever finds out about? I mean, the murders that for Roy Demeo that people found out about was mostly because of people coming forward and giving information. And you know, you got and I did a show the other day where we were talking about Castellano. He killed his daughter's ex-husband and his daughter's boyfriend. And in both murders, Roy Demeo was involved. You know, so when Castellano wanted something done, he knew to go to Demeo. But once everything started falling apart with all the tapes that were with Ruggiero and all that stuff coming out, Castellano knew it was time to get rid of people. You know, and that's the thing about Castellano. People, you know, people will say, "Oh, Castellano was this businessman." Castellano was no businessman. Castellano was a cold-blooded killer. He didn't pull the trigger, but he ordered a lot of killings. I mean, and he killed a lot of people. Okay, let's I'm going to pull up a couple other things here, people. Okay. 1 second. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple pictures. Now this is I'm sure a lot of you seen this picture. This is Roy Demeo. This is when his son was young. And you know, I was talking about this because when he first came out, he was talking about his father. He was kind of braggish about it. But then when he started finding out exactly who his father was and how evil his father was, he couldn't take it. And he killed himself. And it's kind of funny because a lot of people didn't realize he killed himself. I was looking around for him to see what happened to him because I know he wrote a book and stuff. And what happened to him, you know, he killed himself. And then I was reading the story about why he killed himself. There were several different stories. But basically, because everybody considered him his father. You know? So, you know, think about it. Roy DeMeo sealed the fate of his son. Kind of sad, but he did. You know, then we're talking about now this guy was like his Rosenberg, he was his stepson, this guy. And he's not really a stepson. He came along. Roy DeMeo took him underneath his wing. And he was real close to the kid. He taught the kid how to kill. And he became one of the most vicious killers of the Gemini gang. He was a vicious killer. And he he would stab people in the heart so the blood would drain, and that's be the first place he would stab a person. And Roy DeMeo taught him that. But what happened with him is he was buying some drugs from some Cubans, and he killed 4 people. He was in a shootout, and he robbed the drugs. He killed the 2 people that set up the drug deal with the Cubans, and he was by himself. The other guys were 2 guys, they say, were with him, but they weren't part of the shooting. This guy killed them himself. He was in a room with him, and he just started open firing. He killed the 2 Cubans and the 2 guys that set up the meeting. And then the Cubans were threatening to come to New York and kill people. And this is back in the 80s when you had all the Cubans coming into Miami, and they were vicious. A matter of fact, all you got to do is watch, Scarface. That's what they were. That was the Cubans. So what happened is DeMeo had to kill him. DeMeo didn't want to kill him, but Gadji said, you have to kill him. He has to go. So Gadji said to him, you got to kill him, and if you don't kill him, they're going to kill you. So they executed him, shot him in the head. And then they put him in his car. They shot the car up with bullets, and they left it in the intersection of a road. And it was in the front page of the newspaper the next day because the Cubans wanted to see that he was dead. And that's how they did that. And for you guys that don't know, this is Nino Gadji right here. That this was Roy DeMeo's boss. And of course, this is Roy DeMeo. There's a lot of pictures of Roy DeMeo. You can get a lot of pictures of Roy DeMeo, but you got to remember too, not only was Roy DeMeo a killer, but Roy DeMeo also sold porn. He sold bestiality porn. He sold child porn. He sold regular porn. The Iceman killer, Kuniski, whatever the fuck his name was involved with Roy DeMeo. Probably not as much as Kuniski said he was involved with him, but he was involved with Roy DeMeo. So Roy DeMeo had his hands in everything bad. Animal sex with people. He had child sex. He had, you name it, he had his hands in it. There was nothing good about this man at all. He probably never had a good day in his life. And as you know, these are the Gemini twins. Let me get this out of here 1 second. Joey Testa and Anthony Center. And after Joey Testa and Anthony Center took over his businesses after he got killed. Okay, 1 sec. And one more picture. We'll show one more. And this is the man that ordered his death. And we did a show a couple days ago about him killing his daughter's boyfriends and husband. That's the mob, people. That's the fucking mob. We glorify. We heard something yesterday. We heard how bad of a man, from a certain person, we heard how bad of a man, what's his name was, can't even think of his name right now. By Jimmy Calander was talking about how bad the man is that he snitched on. But the fact of the matter is this: they're all bad. They're all bad. None of them are good. This is a life of violence, killing, selling porn, child porn, adult porn, you name it. The mob. And what's the number one thing the mob does? They dealt drugs. The mob has been dealing drugs for decades. It's all a myth when you hear about, oh, they don't want to deal drugs. It's all a myth. Of course they want to deal drugs. That's how they made their money. Rogerio and John Gotti were huge drug dealers. They were flooding the streets with drugs. So, that whole myth, and they were all doing it, not just those guys, all of them, because that's where the money was. That was where the quick money was. And you can add that onto Roy Demeo's list of what he's done. Okay, I'm going to take some questions from you guys. Let's see. Okay. I'm not going to take no questions about what happened last night. So, guys, if you want to talk about something, and that's what I see right now. That's what you guys. BK, come on, man. You got anything else to talk about? Free cigar with every book sold. Okay. Now, at least that's different. Without a doubt, Ramundi's stolen valor. I mean, that's, stolen valor. It's a horrible, proudest day of my life was when my son asked me to take him to the Marine Recruitment Center. He took another route, but wow. Yeah, that is a proud, something. I remember when I took my daughter took the test to get in and she did horrible. Then because she didn't study. Then she went. Then what they said is you can go in the Army. And so my daughter went home and she studied for the test. And then she went back and took the test, got a really high grade. And the building that we were in had the Navy, the Air Force, the Army. And then I said to her, well, you're not going in the Army. She's got a really high score on it. I took her over to the Navy and she became a CB. That's what she did for 4 years. And because she was a CB, she had some fascinating jobs. She was at Camp David because the CBs are the ones that take care of Camp David. Most people don't know that, but they're the ones that protect it and take care of it because of all the work that has to be done there continuously. And she knew and met the president and the president's wife. She said that Barack Obama was very nice and Michelle Obama was very nasty to them. That's coming from people that were there. And then after 1 year, she left there and she went to Turkey. And they were in Turkey. 1 second. What's up? I'm doing a show right now. No problem. Okay, bye. Okay. That was Joe Bay 8th. Okay. So she went to Turkey for 6 months and they were building runways there on the other side of, Turkey, and there's a mountain that separates it. And then she had the best gig ever. For 1 year, she went to Vietnam because the CBs were digging wells there. And she has the best pictures ever of the kids there and stuff. All the kids there, they go to school and they go barefoot and they have no backpacks, but the kids love to go to school. And when our military was there, what they would do is the military, when they had their days off, like my daughter, she would go and teach class there. And then she started where she bought sandals and she started all sorts of programs and bought them sandals and books and everything. And she has some of the most wonderful pictures of being in Vietnam with those little kids. And then she came home and she met somebody. They had a kid. And unfortunately, he died a year and a half ago. And, so he was a military guy too. He was special forces. So my life has been based around the military a lot. My son Kevin is still in the military. And he joined the military when he was 17 years. He was still in 12th grade. And between 11th and 12th grade, he went to Fort Benning in Georgia. And he came back home. And then that following year, he went back into the military. But Fort Benning is the worst place to go when you're in basic training because it's 100 degrees down there. You got to wear camel packs on your back. Otherwise, you'll die of thirst. I mean, it's brutal to go down there and train during the summer in Georgia. Okay. And so my family has a lot to do with the military. I had an uncle that fought World War II and committed suicide a couple years after he came back home from World War II. He jumped in front of a train in New York City. And back then they didn't know what being shell shocked, or they didn't know anything that they know now about what happened to soldiers. They knew, but they wouldn't talk about it. So my uncle jumped in front of a train. And he just got married to the most beautiful woman there was. Beautiful woman. But he had the shakes and the nightmares. And one day he left work. He told his bosses that he had to go home. He was building water towers at that time, the wooden water towers in Manhattan. And he worked in that's kind of work he did when he came back from the military. And he went down to the subway and jumped in front of a train. And my father had to go identify his body. And he was literally cut in half from the train. A lot of soldiers killed themselves after World War II, but you don't hear about that stuff. You hear about it now, but we don't hear about what the soldiers went through in World War I and World War II, and how many of them, and the Civil War, and how many of them committed suicide. And then my grandfather was in the military for 20 years. And I have a lot of pictures of them. Matter of fact, if you look at, you can see some pictures on my community page of my grandfather from 1912. When he was in cavalry. He actually rode a horse, and him and another guy of the unit would go up front. And but he spent 20 years in the military. So this is very personal to me, going up against Ramundi, because of my family being so much part of the military. Okay, let's see. Joe, yes, Joe just called me, Shout. For some reason, he said he didn't think I was on. So I would figure, Lee, I'm hoping your dog Polly. Okay, another thing. Polly got her test back, and she's not out of the woods yet. She has, now they want to give her x-rays. So everything costs money, people. When you have an animal, it's easy for people to put the animal down to save money. But when you love your animal, it's tough. You don't want to. But it gets expensive. I mean, and I would tell anybody this: get insurance for your animals. I fucked up by not getting insurance. And even the vet said, get the insurance. Have some type of insurance so you can save money if your animal has to go to the vet. So now she's getting x-rays on Friday. They want to make sure that it's not cancer. They eliminated quite a few things. I was worried that maybe it was Alzheimer's, because she was panting heavy and having trouble breathing. And that's one of the signs of Alzheimer's with dogs. But luckily it's not, which I'm glad about. And thank you for whoever asked about my dog. And thank you for the people that helped me. Because of you, I actually was able to get stuff done with Polly that I would not have been able to get done. And you know what sucks? People showed up and were like making these accusations. I've had my show for how long, people? How many times have I asked anybody for money? We have people on here getting computers and cars fixed and getting all sorts of money, begging for it every fucking day. And then MB starts this thing for me, and right away it's a scam because of some what's his face with the dog and the fake house fire. And it's like, and I told anybody, I don't want your money if you don't want money. You could have the number to my vet, and you can call my vet and ask him. You could send it to the vet. I just care about my dog. I don't care about the money. I'm able to keep my dog alive because of good people. Good people. And I don't need my money for some stupid shit. Like because I want to buy something. Or I have my car break down once a week. Really? You guys still talking about that shit? Okay. Okay. Didn't Gunner say he would knock out the helmet? Oh, he would knock out the helmet. I love the way people are saying how tough he is. You know, I seen his video of his boxing and stuff. It's not that impressive. Okay, good. The guy's in good shape for his age, Not really. I'm not. But I seen the videos. I mean, I'm a UFC fan, you know. You don't throw punches like that. So if people want to make him a tough guy, make him a tough guy. He said he wants to go in a garage and anybody can meet him in a garage and go fight him in a garage. I got an idea. Ask Gene Barillo to meet you in that garage. Instead of like going after people you could beat up. Make it a challenge. No, absolutely not. The man bought Tony a computer. No. I don't know. I don't want to know MREs. Yeah, I think I like him. He being mystical. Yep, I agree with that. That's who he is. He's mystical. There's when you don't know somebody like that, I got on this case months ago when I first started this, where I wanted to. I said to him, "I want to see who you are. I want to see who you are." And I take that back. I don't. I enjoy a show like this. Okay. Even though Paps was naughty towards me, I'm rooting for you Lee. Cinemed's already put it out. I'll upload a bit more information to help you out. I don't need anything put out, but I got other stuff lined up with Cinemills too, just so people know. Nicasio put the name of Cinemills out there, and now you know. Okay. Hey, Nicosia, you know more about me than I know about me. What's up with that? Do you like research people or stuff? Just wondering. The helmet should okay. Lee Cole will destroy Ramundi face to face live. That's what he needs. He needs somebody in his face. He needs someone telling him what a fucking liar he is. That's what he needs, people. Where make him stutter. It's easy for him to argue with people, doing it this way. But when someone's in your face and they show you documents that proves that you're lying, that's a whole different ball game. And let me tell you something. There's a lot of angry vets out there, very angry vets that do not like what's going on right now with this man. When am I during the debate, people? I'm not releasing no facts until the debate. It's that simple. If I did that before that, they wouldn't like that. John Wolf. Stiggs is a complainer. Stiggs, you see what John Wolf said about you? Once John Wolf says, and you know what, Stiggs? John Wolf actually did a nice video on you, but I think you're getting to John Wolf. Tommy. Okay. Tommy Stiggs chasing Angel Love. Okay. I don't know what that means. John Wolf discovered Black Lives Matter. Okay. Cosio, that Billy T guy joined Lee yesterday on his live. Yes, he did. And that now I'm hearing that Billy T did this, Billy T did that. Once again, does anybody have evidence that Billy T did anything? Because according to people, I did a lot of things too. So once we get that evidence on Billy T, that's one thing. But supposedly people are saying Billy T's a Fed. I don't think so. I think that's, and I think, Nicasio, you had something to do with that. If you have facts about that, send it to my email, dude. I didn't see anything negative coming from Tommy Stiggs. Don Beto, Tommy Stiggs tries to sit on the fence. Vinny tried that, and look where it got him. It's true. That's the thing, people. This is the issue. I'm so glad you brought that shit up. Now I'm going to talk about it. This is the issue. People sitting on the fence here. They want to be everybody's friends. So you betray your friends to be everybody's friends. It's one way or another. Get the fuck off the fence. And this is the problem with people. And they try to stay on the fence because they have no balls to stick up for themselves or to say what's going on. Basically, they're chicken shit. They want to be everybody's friends. There's no such thing in this as everybody's friends. Unfortunately, this is not a friendly section. There's nothing friendly about the Mafia genre. One thing I've learned, I got a couple friends here. That's it. And the people you think are your friends will do shit on you. And you guys know what I'm talking about. I used to have a guy come on my show, and you guys used to attack me and tell me that he was boring not to have him on here. And what did he do? He turned on me for Tony. Just like that. That will backfire him, though, because he lost a lot of opportunities. Polly, stop it. Come here, Papa. She has her energy, guys. I can also tell you that combat vets never brag about exactly. Nobody brags about killing one person, let alone 300 people. And I know this because I have somebody in my family that has killed people in war, and they're not well right now. They have a lot of issues. Come on, guys. You guys are being rough on Tommy right now. Tommy's a good guy. Tommy just likes to be nice to people. But he's going to learn one thing. You can't really be nice here, Tommy. I heard a statement made about you, Tommy. Someone said, and I'm not going to say who said it, but someone said, you try to be friends to everyone, but you're friends to no one. So, and that was a statement made, and you're still in that, and you're still going there. If someone said that about me, I'd be like, fuck you. Gianni Russo said Sammy Bull is nobody. You know something? Gianni Russo, you got to give him credit. That part that he played in The Godfather, the one that Sonny beat the shit out of, great role. And then he actually, he was married or was with Deanna Warwick, a beautiful woman. Gianni Russo was a very handsome man. There's no doubt about that. He could brag about things that he did in his life, like being in The Godfather, being married to Deanna Warwick. I mean, he could brag about that. Those are wonderful things. But he's like going nuts now. He's telling you these things that are insane. And the guy's even been in like 60 movies. He's been in a lot of movies. The guy was a genuine movie star. So he doesn't need to, bullshit. Who can forget when they put that around his neck and his feet would kick in and break in the window, and that was the end because he set up Sonny to be killed. Oops. Okay. Guys, it's hard not to pull you guys. That's what guys, all you guys are talking about is from that shit from last night. Don't unsub to Tommy. Tommy's a good guy, man. Tommy deserves to be watched. He's actually entertaining. I just think Tommy's trying to be overly nice. That's it. But he is an entertaining guy. And having coffee with Tommy in the morning, why not? He looks handsome in the morning. MB unemployed, the type of you're never okay. Let's see. Grant. Hey Grant, how you doing? Real Ramundi is fake Ramundi. Fake Ramundi is realist. You know? That's true. The fake Ramundi in here is more real than the real Ramundi. Grant, you couldn't have said it better. Hey Stiggs, take your shoes off. Boy, poor Stiggs, you're being bothered today. You know something, Tom? You know what it is, Tommy? This chat room here, you got some wild people in here. And when you come in here and they watch you do these things over and over, they get a little sensitive. But right now, you're on a roll. You're very popular in the chat right now. Nicasio Connection, Cinemax TV is hosting the debate. See, Nicasio is all over that. I got to give you credit, Nicasio. You know the only problem with you, man? You talk too much shit behind my back in FBS's room. I wish you weren't like that because, you know, I used to enjoy watching your show. You know, you were an interesting guy. Then all of a sudden, you chose a side instead of staying in the middle. I didn't want you to choose my side, but you could have stayed in the middle. You know? It's true. Lee can move better than Ramundi. Hey, guys, I've lost 20 pounds. I've lost 20 pounds now in the last couple weeks. I'm trying to trim down for the debate. And the suit that I'm going to be wearing, I'm trying to get it down another size. But if I can lose another 10, 15 pounds between now and then, I'll be happy. Is this actually going to happen, or is it a fantasy of yours? You are actually going to Bay Shore. Okay. Nicosio just told you. Okay. No fantasy. Like you fantasize you're from Bay Shore. I think Bay Shore is probably too expensive for you to live in. But anyway, we'll see what happens, tough guy. You know, it'd be funny though if he comes there and we're debating and he gets mad at me and shoots me. Tell me that wouldn't get a lot of. Tell me that wouldn't get a lot of views. Or if he jumps up and grabs me by my neck and then I'm forced to defend myself and he gets a vicious beating. But I have another fight or two left in me, Anthony. Do you? I don't think that's Ramundi. No, the Ramundi in here, we know who he is. He has my wrench. Okay, he's a wrench for this show. Adam, maybe R&B NBA can collaborate with the Wrenchgate before it destroys the genre. I don't know what's going on. We got Wrenchgate, we got people buying subs, we got people buying views, we got all sorts of shit going on here. But you know what? I don't give a shit what they do because I ain't buying subs, I ain't buying views. There ain't no fucking wrenches going on, that Wrenchgate shit. My show's as legit as it can possibly be. And I know who's the legit shows and who's buying subs and who's buying. I know who it is out of these people. But you know what it is? I don't want to talk about it. I'm not stupid. It's, you know, unfortunately, people are doing it. But you guys will be very surprised to know who the head culprit is. The head person. There's one guy drives around in the car. All of a sudden he has 2 shows, 8,000, 6,000. And then his next shows, 400, 500. And it sucks for the guys busting their ass, working to have shows. The guys that don't buy subs, the guys that don't buy. We work hard and we're building up our show slowly, the way it's supposed to be done. Then you have a certain person around here being everybody's friends and helping them with subs and shit. I know a lot of shit I don't talk about, people, but I know what's going on. But they ain't fucking helping me. So they can buy their subs and their views for other people. And I hate to say it, people may not want to hear this. But legitimately, I know 3 shows that aren't buying it, are doing it. And those are the same 3 shows that were here from the beginning. We're working to get where we are. We're not doing it, but I can't accuse someone of doing it because they may not be doing it. But I have an idea of who's doing it. And in the end, YouTube punishes you for buying subs and they punish you. Because first of all, YouTube's not going to let you buy subs and then rip them off. Because if you buy subs, that means they got to pay you more money when you have commercials. YouTube's not going to allow that. YouTube knows everybody that is buying subs. So if you're out there buying subs, people, YouTube knows about it. And it's going to come back on you. That's what it comes down to. But I'm not going to sit here and say who's doing it and who's not doing it because I can be wrong. But I know it's being done. Hey, Lee, I got a good source that our boy Tony has ratted 2 mob guys down in Florida. He changed his name from Sean McCartney to Tony Coruna after testifying. What do you think of that? White Boy Slim. Nothing surprises me when it comes to this genre. Nothing. The weirdest shit goes on here that we didn't think that we'd ever see. I can give you a list of stuff that goes on here that's unbelievable. I'll give you an example. We know I'm going to be debating Ramundi on the 25th. How much bullshit are we going to hear between now and the 25th? And it's going to be like a jealousy fucking thing. But you know what? This could have happened for anybody if you go out there and you try to have stuff happen to you. Do you know when I started my website, I was told websites don't work no more. And yet I get thousands of views on my website every week. And I'm working with somebody who's been my friend here from the very beginning, a knowledgeable guy that knows Brooklyn really well. He lives in Brooklyn. He's around real gangsters, real retired gangsters, and he writes really good blogs. And then you got guys here that insult him, and they're not even Italian, and they're not even in Brooklyn. They don't know any of these guys. And the guy that writes my blogs is around these guys. His family's deep into the tradition. Everybody he knows. That's what they're all about. And then people say, oh, that's not true. That's not true. Do you know how many people from New York read his blog? And I like to give him the credit because he does the blog. People say, oh, Lee, but you're not doing them. No, I'm not doing them. I'm too stupid to do blogs on gangsters because I don't know as much as this guy does. This guy knows 100 times more about gangsters than I do. And he's my friend. He's my good friend. He's one of the guys that's been my friend from the very beginning here and has never fucked me. Never has done anything behind my back. And as much as people don't want to hear this, same with Gene Barillo. We talk as friends. He helps me, and he doesn't do the shit that people claims that he does. He may have done it to them. And if he does that to them, I won't associate with him. But he's never fucked me over. Never. In the beginning, he did because we didn't know each other. And, you know, that's the stuff that will come out too. Like, I talked to his PO. That's a fucking lie. Did I consider it in the beginning? Absolutely. Did I do it? No. You know why? Because then you start opening your eyes and seeing things that's going on. Everybody's guilty here. There's nobody that's, you know, except like John A-Light. I for some reason, I just don't like him. Something about him. But, you know, people, how many people have you seen on my show then all of a sudden they're talking shit about me? People that claim they're not rats and stuff. And they're the first people to talk shit about you. It's just like that. It's like we're all in this for ourselves. We all got our shows. If we trust anybody around us, you better make damn well who you trust. I trust 2 to 3 people around me. That's it. And I enjoy the people that are in my chat room because you guys have been here from the very beginning, a lot of yous. You're the ones that I respect. After that, fuck. Come on. We did a show. I had a show going on last week, and the guy that's sitting in our chat room all of a sudden takes off in the middle of the show and goes to a chat room talking shit about us. And he's forgiven. Fucking people, man. Unbelievable. Hey, Lee, the word and source is Tony. Okay, I read that. I'm sorry, guys. Let's see. Tommy, how does bookie enforce a gambling debt? Many say a gambling addiction is worse than a drug addiction. I was once upon a time a drug dealer. I don't condemn you. It's a horrible addiction, people. People's lives get so destroyed from gambling. I mean, hey, Lee, do me a favor. Take it easy on me when we have our debate. Okay. John Wolf, nothing was more funny than Lee getting doxxed last year. You were the piece of shit that doxed me, John. You and that other show. You were right there, John. Remember, you put my phone number out? So, you know, don't play Mr. Good Guy, John. You could be pretty vicious. I like you, but you could be pretty vicious. DeMeo's crew killed 100 to 200, probably more. But you're right, Seymour Scagnetti. I like that name, Seymour Scagnetti. What a great Mafia name. He didn't kill 200. It was his crew. Don Vito, we don't know that. We don't know how many people he killed, Don. Nobody knows how many people DeMeo killed. Nobody knows that. But we do know that he actually killed quite a few people himself. You know, people say, oh, he gave his crew orders. But you could read about several murders he did on his own. When he killed that family, he did that. And everybody called his cell phone. Yes, John, because you were one of the people that put my phone number up. Remember that, John? I like Lee a lot. I wish he'd debate that clown FBS when he came in the live chat. Hope it will happen one day. You know something? What are we going to do if we debate? We're going to yell at each other and call each other names, cocksucker, fuck you, ugly. What kind of debate is it really going to be? If we sat across from a table, professional, oh, I'd love it. But, you know, it's hard on here to get into debate. Then you get ugly. You start calling each other's names. You call each other's families' names. You know, if you look back, you will see me and him debated a few times. It's not hard to find it. And that's what we did. We called each other names. But you Buffalo, I'm getting sick of him saying he's natural when that's a bullfight. Stiggs secretly hates Lee Cole, Joe. Stiggs, do you secretly hate me, Joe and Vinny? Okay, let's see. That's nuts. How Joey Testa and Center tried to kill Roy's son for Roy's black book. Yep. And you know something? That's great to bring up, Seymour Scagnetti. People don't realize Joey Testa and Anthony Center were very bad men. They were very bad. That whole crew, nobody had anything on anybody. They were all vicious. They were all dirt bags. These two scumbags are still alive, I believe, and still in prison, right where they belong. And that's what they are. They are low life scumbags. I mean, they did take out their boss. They took out their guy. They took out a guy that brought them in and actually made them into something. And they turned on DeMeo. But that's always happens. That always happens, people. And Anthony Spiro. Everybody runs around. They love them. Everybody talks great about Anthony Spiro. And in the last 6 months, you hear, oh, he took advantage of kids and all that shit. All of a sudden, this is new stuff. Anything that I've ever heard about Anthony Spiro has been good for a gangster, though. All these gangsters take advantage of the kids in the neighborhood because the kids in the neighborhood are like AAA. That's where they start. They're kids in the neighborhood. John Gotti started as a kid in the neighborhood. Take a look at the movie Goodfellas when they explain those guys like starting as kids, selling the cigarettes off the truck, and they were kids too. That's what they do. They take these young kids. All of them do it, not just Anthony Spiro. That's a myth. That's just someone saying something so they feel better about themselves. He's a bad man. But that bad man went to prison and died in prison and never ratted. So call it as you want to call it. Tony Stiggs. You guys are still talking about Stiggs today. Tony, go to Tony Stiggs' channel and please subscribe to it. John Napolitana. I'm sorry. John's been from the very beginning, has always been here. He's a real nice guy. And he's very straight with me when I do something to piss him off. That's what I respect about John. Roy Demeo didn't mind killing. He was another level than the Mafia. He was just a cold-blooded killer. Yeah, he was a lunatic. I mean, what would you call it? What kind of killer would you call him? He was just... Killing somebody is one thing, but what's more vicious than cutting up a body? You know? I see something up here with Gray Line. Gray Line is a good friend to my friend Code of the Streets, and he's taking a... Yes, let me tell you something about Thin Gray Line. He got caught up in some bullshit here. He called me and apologized. But you see this mic right here? He got that from me. And, we talk, we're not best friends. We talk quite a bit. He's apologized. He felt bad. I apologized to him for some of the things I did. And people get caught up in this shit real easy. It's not that difficult. People get used. Do you remember when the wrench whore used to be on my show? In the very beginning, the wrench whore was on my show. And then all of a sudden, he just changed sides one day. And the wrench whore became who he is now. You know, I started off with, okay, the first week of my show, who was on my show? 3, 4 times FBS was on my show. If you watch FBS in the very beginning, he was actually a pretty nice guy. And this shit changes you, people. It changes you. Same with Cane Shade. Cane Shade started off on my show. You know, and I remember the first interview we did. It was with Gunner, and we weren't ready for him. We didn't know much about Gunner, and he came on. He tore us a new asshole because we weren't ready about him. We didn't know him, but that would never happen again. But it happened the first time. But you take your defeats and you learn from them. And Gunner taught me something. I could pick up the phone and call Gunner anytime. He'll come on and talk to me. Anytime. Gunner deserves to have more viewers than he has because he's actually a nice guy. His shows aren't bad. The guy's legitimately had a serious life. That's why I had this clown on yesterday making those statements. If anybody thinks that Gunner's not a tough ass guy that did 13, 14, almost 14 years in prison, they don't know the real story then. He did 13 and a half years. And he never ratted. So unless you could do, and he did it in medium and maximum security. And he spent a lot of time in the hole. So guys that want to make fun of Gunner, do it to his fucking face. Guys that want to make fun of Gina Barillo, do it to his fucking face. You guys don't understand. These guys are tough guys. They really are tough guys. And there's just certain guys that, people get brave on here. They'll attack, Gene Barillo's a rat. Gene Barillo's this and that. Yes, Gene Barillo's a rat. But go tell him to his face. Don't be tough on here. And we have a lot of tough guys on here, but they would never say this shit to their face. These guys, they think at a different level. These guys that ran the streets. When you're like talking to them in a bar, let's say, you might say something that you don't think is worth getting your ass kicked. But they think that you're saying something negative. There's like an insanity in them. They're fucking nuts, these guys, and they snap. That's why you got to be careful. We heard Jimmy the other day. He wants to fight everybody down in his garage or whatever. Be careful. You don't know who's going to get in that garage with you. You're in your 50s, dude. We don't tangle like we used to tangle. We just don't have it in us, even if we wanted to. When you're 50-something years old, you're half the man you used to be. I'm two-thirds. I'm 1/3 the man I used to be. But anyway. I think Tommy Karate killed more people personally than no fucking way. I doubt it. You know what, Seymour? You might think that, but I doubt it. But you know what, Seymour? That would be some good research. Come up with research that. Come back and we'll do a show on it. Did Tommy Karate kill more people than Roy Demeo? That actually would be a good show. We know Tommy Karate killed a lot of people, and we know Casso killed a lot of people. Those 3 guys, they were just killing machines. Anyway, Levy and Doc's in the past, and him and TGL moved on. So we should all, yes, we did move on. I'm telling you, TGL is a nice guy. He really is. He just got caught up in a bad situation. And who the fuck hasn't done that here? Bird. Tommy Stiggs, you are jealous that Vinny was a better bookmaker than you. Fucking guys, man. Come up with some funny shit. Okay. Kevin, thank you, NB, for unemployed mob tube. Yes, doxing was completely done by mistake, and I owned it. Look, took it to blame and made things right immediately. Yes, he did. Yeah. You Cubans gave Ramundi the cigar. He won't light it. It's a prop. It's a prop, and he doesn't light it. He says he does, but he doesn't smoke. I want to see him. I'm going to ask him to light it. I'm going to say to Ramundi during the debate, I want to go outside and see you light that cigar, and then I will film it and put it back onto my show. What do you think? We got to see Ramundi lighting up a cigar, but he might take me out there and like try to kill me. I was wondering what happened to Roy Demeo's son. I didn't know he committed. Yeah, yep. It's very sad, Brian. It's very sad what happened to him. He lived the life of his father. He got blamed for his father. And it's not like John Gotti's your father. John Gotti's like a legend, whereas Demeo was a psychopath. I mean, they were crazy in their own ways, but John Gotti went to prison. He did his time, so he's kind of mythical. Whereas Demeo is not really mythical. Demeo is just, anybody that reads up on Demeo knows he's not mythical. There's nothing mythical about him. He's not like a lot of these gangsters. Stig, the resentment of life not providing you with the good income in your old. Oh, come on, turd bird. That's fucked up. I hear that shit about me. According to people, I live off the government. I got shit. Excuse my 2 huge 60-inch screen TVs. I got that from the government too. My furniture, my recliners, my car. It's all from the government. Fucking people, man. The Gambinos weren't going to war for a few bricks. No way. Exactly. No matter how jealous you may be, just work on yourself. Turd bird, you and Tommy Stiggs got to settle this in Jimmy's garage. And be unemployment, another scumbag she is. Who are you talking about? That wasn't meant toward my daughter, was it, Joey? I hope not. Kuklinski wasn't involved with it. Yeah, you know what? Seymour Scagnetti, nobody knows. You don't know that. But we know he's... Kuklinski reminds me of Ramundi. Where they said so much shit that was so much bullshit. The only difference is Ramundi's probably never killed nobody. What a great show, people. We've been like 160 to 200 for almost 2 hours. Adam Troll Civil War just started. When? That Troll Civil War started a long time. It's kind of funny. You got trolls here that take sides, and Don, I just had a brain fart. You got to remember, I'm an old man. I've mentioned Spiro 1,000 times, and his name just slipped right out of my head. It's part of age. I'm going to try to catch up here toward the end, people, and read some of your comments before I shut down my show. Nick Bruiser. Okay, I like that avatar, Nick. Okay, catch up here. Let's do Gran. I don't feel bad for her. She made her bed. She's okay. Well, I'm not going to get into that. Okay, Gianni, one of his subs who doesn't come to his chat, said it's very transparent. What you are doing, fabulous Sicilian. You're only using. Okay, now we're talking about Angel, guys. Come on. Lee Cole, the helmet had hands back in the day. I got fam who dealt with him back in the day. He looks like a joke. No, I never said he didn't have hands back in the day. I'm sure Jimmy could handle himself. Okay? Being a street fighter is different than fighting in a gym. Colby Covington beat the living shit out of Masvidal, but who wins that fight in the street? Think about that. Nick Diaz loses all the time now. This is if you're UFC, but would you want to fight Nick or Nate Diaz in the street? They said that Nate Diaz smacked Khabib in the face, and Khabib didn't go after him. So, street's a lot different than the ring. So I don't think Covington would fight Masvidal out in the street. But in the ring, he kicked the living shit out of him. Scagnetti, Gene sitting with 302's Barillo. And he admits it, Seymour. He lives up to it. He knows what he did. He put some men in prison. He has to live with that. I don't have to live with that. He's always been good with me. Angel FBS and Helmet are going, okay, I don't want to. Let me take that down. Okay, laugh out loud. He said he's a UFC fan. You don't throw punches like that. I like people in the UFC know how to throw punches. Huh? Yeah, what, JT, you don't think that most of them know how to throw punches? And, what they don't know, if you don't know how to throw punches, you don't belong in the UFC. You'll wind up like Damian Maia. Damian Maia is one of the best jiu-jitsu guys in the world, but he doesn't know how to throw punches. Where did they get Damian Maia? Stop it, B. I'm not going to do that shit, silly shit. B, whatever the fuck. Stop it, B. I'm talking about I respect your troll game always. Okay. Papa, Polly, come here. Come here, honey. My two dogs are going to start barking now. They heard something move at the door. But I'm actually glad. Come here, Papa. Come here. Come here. Come here, Papa. Here's Poppy. Come here. This is the dog you guys helped Poppy right here. And thank you. That's Polly. Right, Papa? Give me a kiss. That's the best woman I've ever known. Okay. Okay, I'm going to read a couple more of these. We're at 145. We're going down a little bit now. So, Don Vito, a friend of all is a friend of none. Aristotle. Great point. Anthony Ramundi, I could legit beat up FBS even if he was equipped with brass knuckles. Well, the reality is this, people. You could say what you want about people, but do we really know if he could fight? Maybe he's the best fighter in the world. We don't know. But that's what happens on here. We get sides and stuff, and we think that we know, some of the people that you would call would shock you on here if you messed with them. What cinema studio? Tommy Stiggs is also being a vegetarian is kind of femmy. I don't climb. Who's a vegetarian? Tommy Stiggs is a vegetarian? You know what I'm doing right after I'm done with this show? I'm making barbecue ribs. No, I'm sorry, man. I do not trust a man that does not eat meat. That's the thing. There's two things I judge people. Whether they eat meat or whether they have animals. If somebody doesn't have animals, there's something wrong with them. That's a connection. I absolutely love this. Lee, I don't take sides. It's YouTube. There was life before it and life after it. I enjoy it all. Hope your puppy, she's not a puppy. She's an older. I wish she was a puppy. I'm a first-time dog owner and have partial custody. Mine is Yeah, that's what sucks, Tommy, when we break up in relationships. And that's what happened with me. We had 3 dogs and a cat. She got one of the dogs and she got the cat. I hate cats. I couldn't get rid of my cat quick enough. I compare dogs and cats to politics. Most people who are cat lovers are liberals, and most people who are dog lovers are not. I mean, I've always found that. I very rarely do you see conservatives that own cats. Why is that? Okay. I've really enjoyed doing this show. I've stayed on for 2 hours, people. I just like to thank you all. It's been a blast. We were at 200 to 175. Now we're down to 132. So I'm guessing other people are coming on now, maybe. But I appreciate you being here this long. And now that you guys know what I'm doing, you're going to hear a bunch of bullshit from other people. But that's okay because I'm the one doing it. And I'll talk more about that. There's going to be more advertisement about that. And I cannot wait until I get that man in a room one on one. I got some surprises for him. But anyway, people, thank you so much. If I missed your chat, there's so many people that chat in here. It's amazing. But thank you all. And I will be back on tomorrow with a live. And I really enjoyed myself today. Everybody take care. And for those that help with Polly, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Take care. Oh, subscribe, please. Hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed. Give me an opportunity. I always have a lot of people in here. I notice some people aren't subscribed. Subscribe. It'd be worth it. I got a lot of really good things coming up. Take care.